Hey there, welcome to March 15th's Morning Brew. I know there was a little bit of a delay getting these started back up, but I have since finished editing and can continue these on a normal basis from this point. With that being said, let's get into it. The Nasdaq is down 2.04%, the S&P is down 0.74%, the Dow is up, it hasn't moved, it's at 0.00%, the 10-year is up 14.6%. Bitcoin is down 0.01, so almost in line with the Dow there, and Netflix is down 2.74%. So there were a bunch of good stories today, but I had to pick only a few that I liked, and this one really hit me. Into the Igerverse is the title, and apparently the longtime CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, joined the board of directors at a Metaverse avatar company. Those who don't know what the metaverse is, it's essentially the new big thing from like Facebook, if or the makers of Facebook, and it's all about like the VR or virtual reality, and it's all about making you, but like virtually you, and you can make your own virtual online persona, and it's all about that. So a metaverse avatar would essentially be things and items and accessories that you could decorate yourself with in the metaverse, being the virtual reality version of yourself. Kind of confusing, but just go along with me here. The company's name is Genies or Genus, Genies, and its goal is to create avatars for the metaverse. So celebrities like Justin Bieber, Rihanna, and Shawn Mendes have been created, and it's allowing people to dress their avatars in NFT clothing and accessories. And this is where NFTs actually start to become more mainstream, I think. Like stuff like this, where if you can buy an NFT online that's only associated with your specific avatar in the metaverse, that becomes more prominent and official. People generally associate NFTs with like the pictures online of those monkeys, or the like, just pictures that people are buying online, and everyone's like, why are you buying these pictures? It doesn't make any sense. I can just take a screenshot of those pictures. It doesn't really matter that you're buying them. I can still take them and own them. This is something more in depth, where this would be something like a piece of clothing or a Mickey Mouse hat, a limited edition Mickey Mouse hat. That's an NFT that you could buy for your online avatar through the metaverse that would only be able to be seen on your account. So no one else could own that item, that virtual item, except for you, and your account would be the one that could wear it. That seems more realistic, and it seems like it would make more sense to people than just some pictures that you could take screenshots of. So hopefully you get where I'm coming from. The CEO of Disney departed the company in December 2021, so it's only been a few months that he's kind of been lingering and now joined this new startup, and it looks like it's going to be a big thing. So if you don't know what the metaverse is, definitely look into it, because it's here to stay, and it's going to be pretty big. Now, this next one is actually older news, but there was an update to it, I think, so that's why it was here. It's called Mark Cuban launches online pharmacy for generic drugs. Essentially, Mark Cuban, the guy on Shark Tank, launched an online pharmacy for generic drugs that the goal is to basically cut out the middleman and make it as inexpensive as possible for the consumer to get life-saving drugs that they need. For example, a month's supply of imatinib, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but it's used to treat leukemia, retails around 9,600 and 120 per month. It might be a base cost of 9,600 and then 120 per month going forward, or it might just be either or, I don't know. But with Mark Cuban's business, it is just $47 a month. So it brings that cost down dramatically. So that's really cool. The company's name is costplusdrugs.com. It currently has 100 generic drugs. It does not accept health insurance. And the whole idea behind the company is prices will still be lower than people would be paying at a pharmacy with health insurance. Essentially, all the drugs are being sold at cost. So the cost of what the company buys them for, just plus 15% to cover distribution and all the internal affairs. So the update that's happening apparently is the company is building an $11 million drug manufacturing plant in Dallas, which will help them expand into injectable medications. So that's a big point. I think this is an amazing idea. A lot of drug companies abuse the fact that the general consumer doesn't know what it costs to produce the drugs, and that can be scary for the general consumer because they're buying into something they don't know if Mr. Moneybags is out there just collecting every single dime that they give them, you know? So the fact that this company is only selling it with a 15% markup, the consumer knows that that's all they're paying extra. It's just 15%, just to help the company stay afloat and whatnot. But they know they're not getting ripped off anymore, and they can feel a lot better knowing that even if they don't have the best health insurance, they can still get good generic drugs for an inexpensive price. I really like this. Go ahead and check out the website costplusdrugs.com. Now we have what else is brewing? We got Meta clarified its hate speech policy. So this goes for Instagram, Facebook, and any Meta-owned company. That users cannot make death threats against Russian President Vladimir Putin or other heads of state. Obviously, I say you should not make death threats against anybody. They're just clarifying that even if someone is doing something bad, you cannot give death threats to them per se. This is a weird one. Let's do a little scenario. I know it's nowhere near the same thing, but let's pretend instead of Russian President Vladimir Putin, it was Hitler invading another country. Would Meta still go out and say, hey, no one here can say death threats against Hitler? It's just a thought. And that's what I'm trying to go is I'm trying to make people think differently. You know what I mean? So I know Putin is just invading the country and is killing people. So it may not be that far off from some other leaders that may have done things in the past, but they went ahead and they put out their hate speech policy. So anyone using their platform cannot make death threats. I agree. I don't think you should make death threats towards anyone. I just wanted to throw out that other scenario just to make people think. Next up, Hong Kong is not doing good. Apparently the COVID situation over there is terrible, and it had the highest daily death toll in the world over the past few days, and it's mainly due to 2/3 of the residents are 80 plus years old are unvaccinated. That's not good. That's really not good. I don't know why the old and elderly are not vaccinated over there, considering the older generations are the ones most at risk, and that just makes the most sense for them to go get vaccinated. And I know the vaccine was available for the older generations first here in the US before anyone else, so I'm not sure what happened in Hong Kong. Well, I suppose there was that the whole free Hong Kong thing that happened earlier in the year. I didn't pay too much attention to that, so that may have had an impact. I don't know for sure. If you know the facts, correct me in the comments, but I'm just kind of curious what stopped the elderly from getting vaccinated over there to help prevent all this from happening. So give me your thoughts in the comments. And now we have Lyft is joining Uber in adding a temporary surcharge to rides to kind of compensate the rise in gas prices. And this one is sticky because I have seen online that apparently back in 2008ish, when there was a giant rise in gas prices or something like that, I can't remember the exact company, but some company added a temporary surcharge to vehicles for rides and whatnot, but that temporary surcharge never went away, and that just stayed the normal price. So it's going to be interesting to see if this temporary surcharge goes away after the gas prices normalize, or if this is just a way for the company to go, hey, this is a good chance for us to make some more cash. In my personal opinion, I think the company should go, all right, maybe we make a little less profit this quarter. We can just ride it out. Ha, pun intended. And we can tell our users, hey, we're willing to cover the gas expenses for you and show you that we are a good company that will support our riders, basically. And that's what kept me with T-Mobile for so long when John Legere was the CEO, is just the way he would talk and treat consumers and the people that used his service. It was like he was their best friend kind of deal. He would fight for them and do whatever. That would be nice if Lyft and Uber would be like, hey, we got you. We're going to cover these gas price surges. We're not going to raise our prices at all, and we're going to pass on the savings to the consumer. That's not what they're doing. That's my personal take on it, as I think the company should go, hey, You guys matter to us. We're going to take care of this. We're going to take care of you. But looks like that's not what they're doing. And finally, we have JP Morgan will drop its mask mandate and begin hiring unvaccinated individuals again beginning on April 4th. And this is not the only company and or state that I heard is doing this. One of my people in my Discord lives in Oregon, and as of today, they no longer have to wear a mask to school, which is really cool. And it shows that things are starting to return to normal again. But this also goes back into an article that we read last week about workplaces starting to have people come back into the office. I don't necessarily agree with all of that. I know there are some jobs that need to be worked from the office, but I also agree that people should have the choice to work from home if they want. It saves a ton of money on gas. It stops you from eating out and wasting money. And if a job can be done from home, I think it should be allowed to be. Another article I saw on this subject basically is saying that a bunch of companies are only pushing people to come back to the offices because of real estate. And they have all these really, really expensive leases on their businesses. And if they don't have employees in the businesses themselves or back at the office, then that's a giant waste of an investment per se. And then the other side of it as well is if the employees aren't back at the offices, then they wouldn't be able to have middle management there to control the employees. I've seen a lot of people talking about this online, and they're saying the only reason people want us back at the office is because then they can have the middle management people breathing down their necks and basically watching over their every move at work. And I know what that feels like. It sucks. I can say 100% without a doubt, I work better from home. I am more comfortable. I'm able to speak more professionally and more coherently, knowing that I don't have someone listening into my conversation over my shoulder that doesn't need to be. We all know how it is if we're on a phone call with someone at work and then we hang up and then someone in the background goes, "Hey, actually, you should have said this." It's like, okay. Yeah, it sucks. So I can see both sides of the coin there, real estate and middle management. And if the businesses don't have employees in the buildings, then they don't need middle management, but they also don't have as much control over the environment then. It's a slippery slope. I know there are businesses that do indeed need this kind of environment, but for a majority of the ones out there, they can be worked from home. So keep that in mind going into the future. Potentially ask about a work from home position. And if you can't do a permanent work from home, see if you can do a half and half where you work from home half the week and work at the office half the week. That could be an easy fix. Either way, that is going to do it for today's morning brew. I hope you are all enjoying this, and I hope you enjoy that I'm back doing these. I'm going to try to keep doing one per day in the morning. 9 a.m. will be the launch time for these. There may be a few days where I accidentally miss it, and I do apologize for that. Just know that with my overnight shift, I do have to fall asleep usually by 7 a.m. And if the morning brew hasn't released by then I do need to choose my sleep over that at that point, because if it hasn't released by 7, I would have to wait for it to release, then I'd have to record, then edit, then upload, and it would be 11 to 12 before I even got it out. And it would hurt my sleep schedule pretty substantially at that point. So just know I'm trying my best, and we'll go from there. But thank you all so much for joining in for today's issue of the Morning Brew, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.